What's up, y'all? Here we are again, doing a new episode here with Life with Coffee podcast. It's been a while since we've all been together. We got Ralph in the house, we got Marco in the house, and yeah, dude, I think the last time we got together was last summer.
Last year.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, we're at it again. The boys are back. Yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in. If you notice, now we're trying to do more video podcasting, or I'm trying to do video podcasting. I'm still learning the ways, so I've kind of strayed from the Spotify podcasting. The format kind of switched up on me, so I'm learning with YouTube. So follow us on YouTube, Live with Coffee Podcast. Subscribe and make sure you know how to do it. I don't want people ask. Yeah, man. So first off, my boy Trump ended up winning the election, and I kind of wanted to touch up on that because a lot of people were. I had a couple of friends reach out to me, and they're like, "Dude, you should do a podcast about Trump winning the election and whatnot."
Yeah.
Now, initially, I'm gonna go around the table. Initially, Ralph, like the first time Trump ran for president, what did you think about him?
Not much.
He was a shit. Because I don't know if you were into politics back then.
No, I wasn't. But I knew it was something different, and it wasn't going to be like another person running their own agenda. As far as the political stance.
But what made you
typical
see that back then? Like you're talking about 2016, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What made you think that back then?
I guess because usually you always hear about these people like having a political background
mm-hmm.
when it comes to election year. So with Trump, it was just like you would hear about him just because of his business. What he did as an entrepreneur versus.
I remember his shows where he'd be like, "You're fired" or whatever. I don't know if you
remember
that show.
The Apprentice.
That was. Marco, when I know you back in 2016, you had a little bit of a different opinion about him. I think.
Yeah, I didn't like him.
Yeah, you didn't like him.
I just didn't like him because the way he presented himself,
because it was like that statement about the Mexicans, right?
Yeah,
which you are.
Yeah,
like which you are.
Freaking beaner. I can say that because I'm Mexican. No, but I just felt like he just, not that he wasn't president material, but I guess throughout my whole life, the presidents have always carries a more serious tone. A more
yeah, that makes sense. Like the way he conducted himself wasn't to the standards of what a president.
I mean, to this day, he doesn't conduct himself to this.
He doesn't. Yeah. He still doesn't. And I think so. Me initially, when he first became, when he was going to run for office, it was actually that statement when he was like, Mexico sending their worst, they're sending rapists, they're sending this and that and the third. Mm-hmm. It was actually that statement that really got me into dang,
this guy is my president.
This guy does not care. He doesn't really have a filter. Most politicians, they know how to work their wording to make it sound good and to lie to you. But this guy was like, this is who I am, this is what it is. And so that's the turning point for me. I know when I first had my son, became a family man, got married, that when I was working, and I kind of get the numbers, but when I was working and then, we just weren't making it, we tried applying for government assistance and we got denied. And I get it. At the same time, what I don't get is that at that moment there were still immigration coming over. I remember having friends, family of friends, families, whatever, that would be like, "Oh, I got thousands of dollars in food stamps," and that bugged me because I knew they were illegal, and I knew that I was working hard, and I knew that they weren't, and I'm like, dude, me and my family need that. And when he said that, they're saying they're worse, and they're not putting up a good front as far as Mexico is concerned, that's what really got that turning point for me. And then so
you're like, that's when I became racist.
That's when I started having a draw on my talk. But I know that at one point with you, Marco, you actually did turn Like kind of like, all right, kind of like this guy, or kind of agree with him maybe. Maybe not like him, but
I just chose the lesser of the worst. I like the lesser bad of both.
Did you end up voting for him? No, you
No.
didn't. Did you end up voting for the
No,
with him and no?
no,
Okay, what about this time?
no.
No, at all.
I don't have.
I'm a
I
beer that doesn't vote. Did you end up voting for him, bro?
Damn right.
Bro, did you?
That's my dad. I did vote for him.
You did? This time around or the first time?
No, this time around. First time, I didn't because I don't even think I was registered.
I'm not
Oh,
registered to vote, so.
Bro,
I
I think we all are.
Wow.
I think as soon as we turned 18 and got out of high school and graduated, I think they I remember them having like a fill out form, or even like when you get your license. You're like, I never had my license.
I mean, I was going for him. I was hoping he would win.
But okay, so why though? Like,
Just because.
like this time around, you mean?
This time around, yeah.
Okay.
Because I feel like that Kamala was already in office she's been in office this whole time, and nothing.
But see, like, I want to get down to the dirty. Like, why though? Because it's not so much that we're turning on the TV, or like that you turn on the TV and you're like, oh, I don't like that girl. Like, I want him to win. Like, I think somewhere along the lines in your own life, you started to see what he did do good from his first presidency, and then what.
I mean, I just
You know
feel economic wise, it was a lot better when Trump was president.
Mhm.
I don't know if maybe COVID had something to do with it, you know,
Yeah.
as far as like making it worse now. And I mean, we're gonna see obviously going forward how Trump handles it with the economy the way it is right now.
But what do you mean economic wise? Like, how did you notice that? Because I kind of
Like inflation, basically, like inflation. The wages of a lot of stuff people have gone up, but at the same token, a lot of like the prices of groceries, gas has been kind of up and down, but it's mainly groceries, just the cost of living in general, like buying stuff, cars, homes, everything has gone up drastically.
So when would you say that that was a turning point? Like around what year? And
Right around after COVID, bro, like 2021, 22.
but see, like that is when Biden was running off.
yeah.
So that's what made you realize, like, damn, we were better off with him than with this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even when Biden technically was running for president, I still wasn't
Like this
really
guy.
like, I didn't like both of them, so that's why I was like,
No, you're right. I remember you kind of having that stance, like you're like, they both suck, but
yeah. Because even then, Biden had been in office already, like not in office as president, but
as vice president.
like yeah, like he had already been in the freaking in that political system already for a long time,
And there was no change.
And there was no change. Yeah.
Like all I can remember from my memories of that 2016 to 2020 term, everywhere there was like hiring signs, like for jobs, like now hiring, this pay, like you could find a job, you could quit your job
A lot
and
easier.
find one that next week, you know.
Yeah.
And gas prices were like close to one something, like the lowest, like I don't know, 150 maybe. It was just livable, an enjoyable time to economically, like you said. And then so this time around, I'm noticing, and I was looking at the polls, and I see some of the news, and they say that I was talking to you the other day about. They said like 51%, I believe, is the numbers more or less, of Latino men voted for Trump, or 51% more than something. Basically, what the in layman's terms, a lot more Latino men came out to actually try to vote. In this sense, I guess you can fall into one of them. They actually voted,
Mhm.
and they actually voted for him, Republican, and usually people like that vote for Democrat, things
Yeah.
like that. And a lot of people are having like, what's it?
Bro, it's the no overtime on taxes.
Dude, that sounds
Mexicans
good. Yeah.
work overtime
They're
all the
like,
time.
No, we need that
all day, every day.
I
They're like,
think-
no taxes on overtime? Shit, that's my president right there.
I think that obviously it would be like a factor to play in, but I think at the same time, how is it that people from outside the country are coming in are getting more benefits than the U.S. citizens themselves?
Yeah.
How is it that these these non-citizens commit crimes and get let go free without having to do jail time. They're fixed on the perception of, oh yeah, he said this and it sounds so racist, but not given the context of like, this is what he meant by saying this. So I mean,
Yeah.
I know they put in a lot of work, and the guy I follow a lot, Charlie Kirk, had put in a lot of work for his campaign.
Did. Yeah, I've seen some of his podcasts, his YouTube videos, his TikToks. Like, he did, and I don't know if it was so much for Trump. Like, if you were to sit down and ask him, I don't think he would say, "Oh, it was for Trump." Like, pretty sure he likes Trump, but I think it was more along the lines of, "I want people to see the truth."
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
stop listening to what the blue colored hair people say on freaking TikTok. Like, stop listening to them.
Stop listening to the Karens.
Yeah, bro. And I think his goal was to say, let me give you the truth, and then you do with it what you will. You still want to vote Democrat? At least you voted full, like,
You're aware of these
consciousness.
things.
Yes,
Yeah.
fully aware. But a lot of people, when they became and become fully aware, is when they understand and see Trump's point of view. Like, dang, dude, I'm out here working, like you said, 40 hours, and I'm getting taxed on it, but these are not, because they're getting paid under the table or whatever. And I even saw like a TikTok of this Mexican dude. He really is Mexican, or maybe whatever, Latino, right? But he was speaking in Spanish, and he's like, "Look, Raza, like, there's always been deportations. There's always been the fear of being deported as a illegal immigrant." He's like, "But you know what's crazy? If you just get your ass to work, you never have to worry about that." And I was like, "Damn, bro!" Like, he's telling me. And you from that video, you can't tell if he votes Trump or if he votes Democrat, or should I say Republican and Democrat. But you can tell that his mindset is like, stop whining, and stop being the victim of being an illegal immigrant, of being Latino, and actually put some work towards making wherever you're living, in the sense your country, make it better, make it a better place to live. And I think that's why, like, a lot of people came out this time. They saw the lies of what the media would say, CNN, NBC, like, all these people were just spewing out their own agenda, like, oh, this, that. Or I would see also the View. I don't know if you guys ever seen that one.
Oh man, bro, yeah.
Have you seen that one?
I don't like that show anymore, bro.
All they do is talk crap all day. It's like there's, and then it's funny part is they're all women. They're all delusional. But they they literally will sit there with their delusions and just talk crap, and like they're just like, oh, I hate him, and they just sound so stupid. And like, especially like the Lady Joy. She's like 80 something, bro, and she's still like acting like a blue-haired Karen that's in her 20s in college. Like, it doesn't make sense, bro. Like, go off the truth. And I don't know. So overall, I have seen the switch in mindset in this generation to see, dude, like, this guy, whether he talks crap, whether he's not very friendly, his policies and what he does for this country, it benefits me as an American. Every American is starting to see that, or a lot of Americans are starting to see that. So yeah, I see that switch in the politics now. Dude, well, the crazy part is, I don't know if you're really into politics, but the Senate and the House of Representatives and the presidency and the judges, because there's like 3 branches of whatever, right?
Yeah.
All those are run by Republicans. Before, if I can break it down, it's like, no, I'm bore nobody. But basically, if a Republican wanted to pass a bill, he had to go through the House or the Senate or the judges. And if they were mainly Democrat, that bill wouldn't be passed. Now, all the whole system is run by Republicans, is run by, like, it's just going to be all supported. So the crazy part is, like, America came out and showed out for a change, dude, and I'm very, very surprised. Like, I'm very, very surprised at how this election came out to be.
I feel like now that he's been elected to be our next president, it's gotten a little bit calmer with the whole fucking
Like, people,
the chaos, bumping heads.
You're right. I don't see people bumping heads no more as far as politics. I see people now in this presidency, in this election term, they're more understanding because I believe America saw the truth, and they saw that as soon as he left office, they tried getting him with so many, dude. He was like, what was it? He was impeached and still like finished this presidency.
Yeah.
He was slapped on with like bunch of weird lawsuits and cases and allegations of this, that, and the third.
Felonies.
He went to jail and still like he made something out of that mugshot, bro. It's just crazy that this guy, and the crazy part, people would be like, anybody else would have said, you know what, this country ain't worth it. Like, why am I going to be going through all of this just to be a president? And that alone should tell you that he went through the lawsuits. He went through people shaming his name, allegations. He went through false testimonies, and still wants to be the president and still wants to make a change. I feel like that's proof enough to say this guy actually wants to do something. Whether I will agree. Sometimes like the things he says is outrageous.
Yeah.
And I probably would say the same thing. Like there's some instances that I probably would have, if I was president, you know. But it's just, I think the time in this day and age is not for politics. It's for truth. It's for genuinity and transparency.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people are craving for. Like this generation. I think we've talked about this in the podcast before, but this generation or this era is so fake and so superficial. They want to be. We got social media that's just ruined lives and ruined marriages and ruined friendships and ruined mindsets of women and men.
Yeah.
And I think people these days are just craving genuinity.
Yeah.
Just craving something real. It is a different age, dude, because you can find, you don't have, you don't have to sit down and watch the 5 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock news. Like, you can see news in the restroom while scrolling through TikTok or scrolling through your Instagram reels or whatever. You can follow your favorite news. Like, I see this, I follow this lady on TikTok, and she reports the news unbiased. She literally tells you and breaks it down to where a person that doesn't understand politics will understand it. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I was watching her TikTok the other day, and it just got me thinking, like, I love that for her because she's doing what she loves. She didn't have to, unless she does have a degree, but she didn't have to go and apply at ABC Network to try to be a journalist. She has the phone, and she can just talk to millions of people through the phone, get paid, and doesn't have to go through a company. And like, that's what this new generation is bringing. That's like the new era of, I guess that's the plus side of social media, really. It's like,
and it's like now people are going to start shifting towards independent, what's the word I can put my...
Like journalism?
Yeah, independent journalism is to where it's just like now people are not going to want to tune in to these networks that are on broadcasting anymore because they've been so vocal about what we thought was the truth. And now we're kind of seeing like, oh, this might not be what it makes it out to be.
They have an agenda to where like it's just like we're just gonna
tell you what we think this is.
Stick to one side, basically.
And that's what I get so annoyed about watching The View. Is just like you could see how narrow they could be about their beliefs and how they want to go about conversations.
I guess the plus side of the social media being where you can contact millions of people or thousands of people. Like, you can contact so many people through social media. Mm-hmm. I've seen like a rise in influencers. I've seen a rise in people learning to do more YouTube, more TikTok, lives. Yeah. You find out so much information, barbering or like your own company, you make cakes or whatever. Like, nowadays there's not really an excuse to say I can't do it. Like, you can, but you gotta understand marketing. You gotta understand that what people want, and you gotta, I think consistency is something that you've said before. Consistency is key. Like, you have to continue to be out there and putting your content or putting what you believe in and staying, like, goes back to what I said earlier. People are seeking reality and trueness, dude. Like, they want to see if you're dumb and you post that on YouTube, but that's really who you are. people love it, bro. They'll start following you. They'll be a subscriber, and
that's
you
true.
know,
Kai Centra or Senta Street.
Yeah, like Kai.
He did the trio with Drewski and Kevin Hart. They're doing live streams for like I don't know.
He's like a black guy with dreads.
Yeah. No,
I think is he like a young kid?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, honestly, like
I think I know who you're talking about. I think.
Bro, and that dude has no agenda. He's just raw life, bro.
Yeah.
And people tune in, bro. But that's the crazy part is that it's genuine. And he talked about it too. It's like he started popping off when he had this one video where he saw a mouse like in his house or whatever, and he's like got all scared and whatnot. People started tuning in more into it for like I guess like the ghetto stuff in it is like damn, bro, this is real.
Yeah.
Versus it being like scripted and whatnot.
Oh, you know what, bro? Have you guys seen? He's an influencer through TikTok mainly. I don't know if he's probably on Instagram too, but he's like a kind of like a big boy redhead, and he's been hanging out with Sarah Safari, like Bradley Martin. What's his name? Well, so anyways, his content, how he started getting big, is he would just like act like girls wanted him, and like especially name like celebrity like Sydney Sweeney. He would just post like the green screen. He'd be like, yeah, like these girls want me, but I don't want them. Like I'm better than them. Like like that type of content, right? And so.
Sounds like me.
He ended up getting like with Bradley Martin, the big influencers.
Yeah.
And in his videos, slowly but surely, you started seeing him get content with the people he said that were like, he'd be like, because he's fat and he's like redhead, whatever. And he's like, yeah, like these girls want me, but I already dated them. And then he eventually ended up making a video with one of the girls that he claimed that, it was part of the joke.
Yeah.
And people in the comments are like, bro really spoke his fantasy into existence.
Yeah.
And that's the crazy part that I'm trying to unlock. Like me and Marco were talking the other day. I'm trying to unlock right now in my path of life how to become successful. Like and success can be measured in different ways. Like you can measure success through money, you can measure success through time, through family, through the amount of cars you have, how nice your car is, or how happy your home is. Popular, yeah. You can measure success in many ways, right? But
all the beaches.
I forgot I was going with that.
All the bitches I don't get.
In my life right now, I'm trying to unlock how to get from point A to point B, how to cross the bridge, and I'm having trouble understanding that. I'm having trouble understanding. Like in my core, I feel like I'm meant for more. I feel like I'm meant to do more. And I don't know if it's spiritually, I don't know if it's podcast wise, content wise, company wise, financial wise. I don't know. And that's what bugs my spirit every day, that I'm trying to understand, like, what I don't, like I was talking to Marco the other day, I don't want to, right now I'm 30 and I kind of have a, not regret, but I kind of look back at my life in my 20s and I'm like, man, I should have did this. I should have been better at this. I should have took this chance. But now I'm so scared to become 40 and say the same thing about my 30s.
Bro, that's a long way out.
Well, it is, right? But it goes by so fast, dude. Like, I was just 20 the other day. The other day I was just 20.
That was crazy that you said that, because I was having a conversation with a guy that walked in the shop today. He owns two companies, a consulting company, kind of like an accounting one, and then a construction business repair company. And I had told him, I was like, man, the only thing, I don't regret stuff, but the only thing I wrestle with my mind is, I should have done this when I was just younger. I should have just been on it. But he's like, yeah, times are different now and how things have evolved. He was saying now 30s is the new 20s. Back then, your parents at the 20s, they've had shit figured out. Now it's us, and since it's so far advanced compared to back then, and it's so much of a fast-paced life, that your 30s are your 20s now. So it's our 30s where we as men are prime time, and you hear that often too on podcasts, people that are influencers and whatnot, is like, dude, your 30s, there's probably a good section too where you kind of want to live your life and get down on it because you've already kind of been through life at your 20s.
Yeah.
So 30s, like.
So you kind of have it a little more figured out.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So now it's like, it's great that you're saying that now. It's like, man, put it into perspective. It's like, okay, man, like, there's still some time. And I think in general, there's always time to like flip shit around. It's just us wrestling with our mind to think like, man, if only we'd have done it sooner, we would have already been there already.
That's what Marco was saying about working out. He's like, I wish I would have worked on my 20s and I would have been so fit. But I don't know, dude. Like, I mean, I agree, right? But I'm, like I said, I'm so scared that I feel like I still don't know what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in my 30s, which is the new 20s, and I'm still like doing nothing. Like, how do I not do the same mistake? Like, I don't want to repeat the same mistake, and I think that's what's scaring me, and it gives me anxiety and every day. Basically.
Like for me, I feel like it's like more like I know I can put in the work to try to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
I just need
put in the work. Basically, yeah.
I just need guidance as to like how or like maybe where I should be focusing my energy or like my time. And I guess just I feel like I like the thing with a lot of successful people is they have successful leadership, somebody else that's successful kind of
like a mentor.
Yeah, like a mentor, like guidance, either guidance or help them get them just on their feet and then they put in the work.
Or they were born into it too.
I think in some cases, I don't think a lot. I think they just put themselves in positions for them to be forcefully lead into that. So now it's like, oh yeah, like they open up a business, they try opening it up, they fail,
like they're not
retry again. That, and then they're putting them in positions to where it's like, okay, they're creating opportunities, and that breeds other opportunities.
Bro. That's your,
and then it brings in the mentorship. It brings people that are there for the right reasons.
Like what we were saying about that guy, like that TikTok guy, that he's manifesting what what his content was basically.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're right, dude. Like, but it's
I guess
it's scary.
I feel like it's that along with like if you go that route, like or just as an example, like that Bobby chick, she just once she got that one person.
Well, the one person was Drake, bro. Like, how do you get Drake? If I had Drake on my podcast, I would have all the bitches, bro.
The real question.
How big was it?
Nah, you didn't see his video, bro?
Shit, I have that saved, bro.
What's it called?
Whoa, alright, I know what you're talking about.
So, you think he hit?
Oh, definitely.
Right?
Definitely
hit, bro.
She ended up getting divorced like a few podcasts later. Definitely hit.
Yeah, he hit. I feel
she
like
can act like she didn't, but
bitches ain't shit.
If not, like he got hit, but
he got something.
He got something. But this goes back to some of our old podcasts. Something I've been trying to stay away from, bro. But let's go. Let's talk about bitches. No. Because, like, it's so easy for them, bro. Like, do you see another guy with a podcast that got a Drake on the line?
They do have... Girls have life on easy mode.
Like, she literally got like that, bro. And back to back, she's been getting, like, these celebrities, which is why her podcast is famous.
Yeah.
And,
I do think women do have life, especially pretty women. They have life on easy mode
because like they're
like an average guy could have never got Drake on his podcast. Never, bro.
No.
Drake would have never responded to that DM.
He'd be like, you
even
but I'll still fuck you.
Like even with a female like the Cardi B or Nicki Minaj or like
if it was the opposite. Like if we reached out to a girl.
Like,
for a podcast,
she's gonna blow you off.
Yeah,
that's like that shit just blows my mind, bro. Like
I saw a video like on Instagram, and it was like an OnlyFans model, like on a podcast. And she was talking about how much she was making or whatever, and she was making like I don't know how many thousands of like I don't know if she said like 20,000 or 15,000 a day, like just on OnlyFans, and it's like, bro, like really. And I feel like part of the problem, of course, is men obviously
Men are the problem, bro.
subscribing to it.
So I used to get offended when girls would be like, "Oh, men ain't shit." And then I started being an advocate for men. I say roughly around last year with our podcast.
Yeah.
But then after doing some analyzation, I do realize that men ain't shit, but in a different way. Like, I'm not seeing it the way girls are seeing it. I'm seeing it to where it's like, man, y'all are some pussies, dude.
Yeah.
Grab your balls, hold on to your word. If you say you're gonna do something, do it. Stop like. And I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I'm that guy, right? I mean, I've given attention where it shouldn't have been given. I've messed up my relationship in certain areas, and I can admit to that. But it's like, you got to learn from it, though.
Yeah.
You can't continue to be a piece of shit guy. You know, or as a man, stop feeding that attention for free, or learn your value, learn your worth. And I think that men are just like, nah, I'll just give her the attention or send her $200 for nothing.
Yeah.
Like, it's just crazy stuff.
And I think
bro.
for guys like that is what makes it hard for men in society in general, just because now they've gotten their value to dictate other things than themselves. So when it comes to like, oh yeah, well I need to have this car, now you're dictating that car to have value to your life.
Yeah.
You providing that value to
Yeah, I
yourself.
see what you're saying.
Yeah,
dude. I mean, the podcast Fresh and Fit, yes, they're pretty extreme. There's some things I don't agree with them, but in hindsight, they are doing some good work in the sense where Myron is teaching or trying to at least shed some light into, dude, as a man, fix yourself, be the best version of yourself, and the bitches maybe will follow. But stop doing the other.
Follow me.
You haven't fixed yourself, bro.
Damn it.
You better go to the gym, man. No games.
Damn.
Nah, I'm just kidding.
I think what helped me out last year when it came to that, when shit really started hitting the fan for me, it was like that book, The Stoicism, and we had a podcast at one time. I was just ranting off the book, but it's just the thing that stuck is just clarifying your intentions. Like, and I asked this to a guy a couple days ago when we were having a conversation. It's like, what is it you want? Like, if you don't know what you genuinely want, you're gonna be lost forever.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta clarify what exactly you want before getting into anything, so that it makes it that much easier to get there.
Yeah.
And part of that conversation we had with
I
that girl,
want money, so how do I get there?
You got money, bro. You've been.
I mean, I have some money, but
Now,
not.
why do you act like that, bro?
No. Like I want real money, like money.
Yeah.
we're talking about real estate money.
Yeah, like I ain't gotta worry about work money. Like, well, not necessarily worry about work.
No. But the thing
But
is, like, you have that opportunity, and then like, I think it goes back to what you were saying.
Where you at?
Where you at? No, I think it goes back to what you're saying. Is like how, like, I think it'd be a lot more helpful if you had a mentor to say, buy this in real estate, or let me show you how to get into real estate so you have property so you cannot work and live off your property, or this is how you start a business. But as a man, it's always going to be trial and error.
Yeah.
And I think what kind of what you were saying about the book of Stoicism, as men, we have to go through the mud, bro. Like,
Oh, we have to.
if you want to become a great man, you have to go through the mud.
There's this
That's
one
how you're
guy.
gonna learn.
This one guy had said, "Women flourish, and when they're happy, but men flourish when they're suffering."
That's a good one.
That's tough, bro. Because for you to flourish, us as men, there's nothing else that will mold us and make us better, nothing better other than suffering.
I would say great men. Is there? I mean, if I'm.
Yeah.
Because if I'm being real, like,
in
there's
a
some
general,
pussies
I
that will
guess,
fold.
yeah,
You know, they'll fold.
for sure, bro. For
And I
sure.
think that's what makes a good man.
Yeah.
Is that during the suffering you do flourish.
Mhm.
If you don't, you gotta like the mindset I have, and maybe that's why it's so hard, because I'm so hard on myself too. Is that, like, I don't feel sorry for some men, dude. Like, you're in that position because you want to be,
Mhm.
you know, and some men want to be victims so bad. Some men want people to feel sorry for them, but ain't nobody gonna feel sorry for you, bro. Like,
Mhm.
get up, dust yourself, and come on. We'll do it together, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be hearing you bitch. You know, like, let's do this. Let's hit the gym. Let's let's get together more often and see how we're gonna make money, or let's see how we're gonna improve like our mindset. But it's hard, bro. Like, it's hard to do that because not everybody has the same mindset. I was talking with someone the other day, and I noticed a lot, and I'm pretty sure you guys can attest to this, that a lot of men, once they get married, once they get a girlfriend, you don't see them no more. Could be your cousin, could be your best friend, it could be a group friend, and all of a sudden you already know he's that guy. Is like, oh, like ever since he got with that girl, like you don't see him. You can't even get a hold of him. Like you'll see him once in a while, and it's like I think those type of men are weak, because it's like I understand putting your effort and energy into the girl that you love or the person that you love. Totally get that. There's nothing wrong with that, but I feel like when you start pouring all of you and start neglecting yourself is when you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Between you and your girl, you're the leader, and if you're pouring all your energy into her, it's like you're transferring that leadership. How I'm thinking of it. And I just feel like, no, dude, like as iron sharpens iron, like you need to stay on top of it. You need to. You can't. Like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, you can cuddle. Yeah, you can cuddle. But not all the time. Like, you gotta get out there and like, nah, dude, like the boys invited me, I'm gonna go, you know? Or like, you know what, I'm gonna go watch a movie on myself, you know?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go, you know, I'm gonna spend this whole day just shopping around, go look for some tools, work on the car, like do something that's manly, masculine.
Yeah.
Sharpening yourself. Otherwise, if you're just always around your girl, I feel like you start to pick up some of that femininity, bro. Like you start to pick up like...
You start adopting those habits.
Yeah, you do. And then all of a sudden you're hearing the cheeseman with her and her friends and her family or things of that nature. It's like, we're men, bro. We're not meant to be in that.
Yeah.
I had another conversation where, you know, somebody was like, well, it's your job as a man to understand me and as a woman.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, hold on. My mind will never understand your body as a woman. They go through changes, bro. They go through hormones. They go through, just through their life, they go through a lot of different physical, mental, hormonal changes. We're men and we don't get those changes. It's impossible to ever really, truly understand what they're going through. So my belief is we're not meant to understand. We're just meant to lead, to be like, hey, I understand right now you're feeling sick. I understand right now you're feeling angry because your hormones are everywhere. But we're not going to talk to each other that way. Or that's not how...
But go make me a sandwich.
For real, bro. No, I mean, you know...
I think we would understand, like, understanding, I would say we can get to a point where we can understand what's going on, but not feel.
Yeah, not feel it, yeah.
Yeah, like... It's a whole different thing of feeling that way.
As a man, we'll never really truly understand a woman, and we're not meant to. We're not meant to be like, oh my god, you know, let me see how you feel or whatever. Kind of like the conversation we had in one of our podcasts where I'm like, as a leader of your house, and I know you guys kind of disagree with me, but I was like, you shouldn't, you should hear out your girl and maybe sometimes compromise. But my main point was like, no, there's no room for that. Like, if you're the leader, you're supposed to be the one that says, I'll hear you out, but at the end of the day, it's going to be what not cheese mo, bro. It's going to be what I say. It's gonna be what I say, go, make sandwich, you know?
I mean, I think when it comes to that, you just got to know when is the right time to compromise.
Yeah.
When it would be the right time to say, okay, you know what?
There's a right time.
Even at then, say you make a wrong mistake, you can still come forth and be like, okay, I did fuck up.
Being a man
still doesn't,
but
it
I feel like that's
change
a
the
big
fact
problem,
that
man, because women do not own up. Well, at least in my experience, women don't own up to shit.
It's very hard for them to.
I don't know why.
It's not
like
because
life is already easy, motherfucker. Just hold up for what, bro?
Just say you missed it. Just say you're wrong.
I mean, when you live in a world where like you have to cater to them, it's very hard for them to think that way too.
That's like true.
It's like
they're
I said,
constantly
it's like
being catered to. Yeah,
their flourishness is through happiness, ours is through suffering.
Yeah,
the only way for them to maybe get a sense of what our understanding is for them to suffer, but they suffer differently than what we do.
I don't know, bro. I do believe women have it on life on easy mode.
Oh, they do.
Like,
yeah, they do. I mean,
like financially.
I can have an OnlyFans. like with that chick that's going viral right now, Sophie Ryan or Sophie Rain or something like that.
Sophia Rain.
Sophie
Ah,
Rain.
like,
Yeah.
Get it right now, bro.
But she's making like double-digit millions in a month.
Yeah.
Not even that. I heard like she was getting like, no, you're right. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
like millions in a month.
In a month, bro.
In a month. Like
That's
I think like
Wow,
it was like
bro.
40 something million a month, bro.
There's
Yeah, I heard that.
many simps in the U.S. bro.
There is. That's the problem, and that's where I started understanding like men ain't shit, bro. Like you're really
like-
supporting this bitch.
Like if you,
bro.
In that aspect, yes.
if you're a man that's successful, has a lot of money to spend on that, why are you spending thousands on that when just go out there, approach a real, like not necessarily a real woman, like well
Like
yes,
in
a
real
real
life,
woman,
you mean?
real life, yeah,
Yeah.
in person, like go out there, interact with people. Why are you paying for like nudes, or why are you paying for like a girl's attention or whatever?
Yeah.
When she's at the end of the day, all of that's fake. All of that's
Yeah.
basically like she's giving you a little bit of attention, a couple messages, maybe like some nudes or whatever. She's sending that out to millions of people or thousands of people or whatever. Like you're not
That's
special.
crazy.
You're spending your money, or you're spending money for what? Just for a little bit of euphoric, like that little bit of pleasure that you get
Yeah.
for that moment, when you can be out there living your life, trying to pursue that pleasure in person, in real life, in whatever. Go to a damn strip club, bro. Do it in person.
Do what I do. Yeah.
Well, even at them, bro, there's sites that give it out for free. Like,
Yeah.
At that point, like,
I mean,
what's
I don't
gonna
know about
happen
that.
for at that
I know
point?
all about that, bro.
At that point, what's gonna happen is like you're gonna get your post nut clarity, and you'll be like, damn,
That's a real thing.
for what? You know.
Post not clarity.
But like 40 million.
Like, I wouldn't
I think
know.
from the last time, from what I had seen, she's making 40 million a month, and say she charges $25.
40 million
Like,
a
for a
month? I feel like that's too
subscription.
much.
I feel like
And
it is.
that's on the higher end.
She's
That's
lying, but
that's
I
1.6
get it.
million people subscribe to her. 1.6 million paying that $25. Now if it's cheaper, bro, that's more. That's probably like almost what, like 20, 30 million. That's a lot of people.
It's because that also takes account
What can a
into-
man do
That's where
on
I
an OnlyFans to get that?
get
that,
to
that, that's where I'm talking about. Like, there's a lot of successful men that fall into that trap or whatever, to where they're like paying, giving her a $1,000 tip, or giving her like
I'm sure they do.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's what I like. I've seen that like when they interview these girls like on podcasts and stuff, and they're like, oh yeah, like I get it, like this much from tips, like bro, why? Like why are you doing all that? Like you still getting the same nudes everybody else is getting.
Like, I would get it. I guess I would get it if you were doing it knowing that you're gonna get something in return. But these fools do it.
I mean,
just
they're
to,
getting-
just to be replied back to.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, that's disgusting. Like, what
like,
are you doing?
like I think I mentioned it before, but like I went out with this chick one time and we were at the bar, and some dude sent her like $20 or $30 for drinks. She bought me beers. Like I was there with her in person, and this dude was out there sending her money. It's like, bro,
And didn't get nothing in return.
no, she was spending it on me, like on us or whatever.
Like, you could have went home with that.
Yeah. It's like dude, like what are you doing? Like I don't know. That's what I don't understand, and I don't think I'll ever understand that. I would never pay a girl like just because.
Yeah. You just spent $700 at a strip club, bro.
I mean, at a strip-
you get nothing,
At
bro.
a strip club, it's different, bro. It's in person.
Like, I live by what I say.
I'm
Let's get to touch.
I'm grabbing their titties.
You got a point. You're right
But-
there. I just feel like everybody's lost. Like, men are lost, women are lost. But since we're in the gender of men, like, we're lost, bro. And I can feel
I feel like
that.
like women, yes, they have life on easy mode or whatever, but they're also taking advantage of
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
like having life on easy mode, and like this generation of weak men, in a sense that like they see other girls getting paid so much for whatever, so they're like, well, I mean, they don't have to report to a boss, they don't have to like go to work, be in traffic, be like your fake self, because at work you're truly yourself most of the time.
Yeah.
You're like a version of yourself that you have to please people, you have to like not necessarily be 100% yourself, you have to cater to people for the most part. And so women see that, oh, I just have to show my body and I get paid. Well, fuck it. Men are willing to pay, so I'm gonna do this instead. And it's misguiding a lot of women into doing that kind of stuff. And then there's some women that maybe they don't have that same exposure, and they've already put themselves out there and they see that they're not really getting paid the way that maybe they thought they would get paid. And it's like, you already put yourself out there, so that brings your value from up here for like good guys, or I would say good men. They're not gonna look at you the same, like, oh, she had OnlyFans, like, nah. Well, that's the way I see it. Like me, if I'm gonna date a girl, and I find out she has an OnlyFans, like, that's it. I'm cutting it off.
And I think that perception, and it bites us, or not us. So like it bites men in the ass to feed into shit like that.
Yeah.
You get these guys, simps, whatever you want to call them, to be like, oh man, yeah, I subscribe to this chick and whatnot, and then live in this fantasy to be like, oh, I could get something like this, and then somewhere along the line, they just become like women themselves and be delusional about it, and starts devaluing us men, and on top of that, dealing with the same issues that they're having, is just feeding into it completely.
I think men have lost track of what's important. Being around the same mindset of people.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why in our younger years, in our generation, I feel like there was more gangs. Not that gangs are the best thing, but it's the best example I can give, that back then you had that camaraderie with the fellow guys that you grew up in your neighborhood. Same mindset, like, hey, if he's tough, I need to be tougher, you know?
Yeah.
If he got in a fight and he tells me to get in a fight, I need to do it, or else I'm gonna look weak in front of these guys, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it was like that iron sharpening iron.
I feel like
lost track of it.
it plays in work-wise as well.
Yeah, work too, yeah.
Because I feel like at work, you know, working construction, working, you know, blue-collar jobs, if you're in a crew that like hustles, gets shit done,
that's true, bro.
you're gonna try to fucking hustle. You're gonna try to get shit done. But if you're in a crew that's like, nah, man, like, don't worry about it. Like, night shift's got it.
Yeah, that's true.
Day shift's got it. Like, nah, fuck that. Like we get paid by the hour. Don't worry about it. Then you're gonna fall back. You're gonna match energy. You're gonna basically be like, oh, fuck it. You know, nobody in this crew cares, and fuck it. Well, I don't care either.
Yeah.
But then if you're in a crew that's everybody's trying to fucking hustle, and everybody's trying to get that shit and get it done or whatever, you're gonna be like, well, damn, like, if I'm not doing that, I'm gonna look like a weak person. I'm gonna look like the weak man or whatever. And you're gonna try to, like, even if you don't match the same energy, or maybe the same, if you don't entirely agree with it,
yeah,
you're still gonna try to like put your best effort to like compete, or like you're basically men are natural competitors.
Yeah.
There you go. That's the word. It's just putting yourself in a situation, or I guess in a position to like, I want to say be a boss, but yes, like ultimately be either in management or be in like a higher role than just like, well, like
the low level.
Yeah, in the low level, like what we call hands or whatever. Like, you don't want to be a hand your whole life. Like, you want to move up. You want to try to
throw hands. No, I mean, you have a point. So like, maybe it doesn't matter where you work, it's how you work.
Yeah.
Maybe, because let's look at, I think we all have like deals or relatives that are men that have worked all their life, and they, you know, you don't hear that they were a supervisor or a contractor what's the contractor?
General foreman or
Like
whatever,
that.
or
Like you don't
something.
really hear them that they're like that, but you do hear that they're a hard worker, that they know how to work and they won't stop, and you hear that, and that's good to hear.
I feel like
They never got above that.
that's a big thing in the Mexican culture.
In the Mexican culture, just
Yeah.
work, just work,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
that's
Yeah.
cool, but
you want
how do you get to what you were saying? I don't think it's so much that you have to work so hard, but it's you gotta work hard to improve and go above and beyond.
Yeah.
To be like incorporate maybe or whatever. And that's what we were talking about the other day. How do you like you look at the CEOs of some of these companies, you look at people that are successful, and I've heard a lot of what they say is you have to learn the art of having of knowing how to use other people to your advantage.
Yeah.
Basically stepping on people's toes or basically being a user. You got to know how to make other people do your work. That's what CEOs do. That's what corporate management does. They're like, hey, they delegate. I'm not going to do that. You need to do that because that's your position. And they make you feel like that, but you end up doing it because that's your job.
But I think a lot of it is like, in a culture of like Mexicans, like they've had this culture where it's like work hard and work hard as you can,
Work hard and work harder.
but never been taught to work smart too,
Yeah.
to get
Yeah.
your corporate job, to get your CEO position, to get your supervising position. I think it's been like that for a good while to now makes it. I wouldn't say this new breed of like cultures that are coming up or generation, because I mean I feel like they're a lot weaker than what our parents are
Yeah, definitely.
back then. But it's just that it gives them. Now it's like they're becoming smarter, but they're not working harder. It's kind
I
of
feel like they're
flip-flop.
more aware.
Yes.
Like that's what I was talking to my dad the other day. Like this generation is more aware. Like I will commend the older generation, like my dad and older, where people in that age they worked hard.
Mhm.
They got their house.
Mhm.
They were responsible.
They're very disciplined.
There's like some of the most unhappy people ever. You know, like those tios and those grandpas,
yeah.
like smoked and drank till they died, bro. Like, and so I was telling my dad that this generation, from what I see, they're more aware to where they understand that no matter how hard they work, this company will replace them like nothing if they got sick the next day or died the next day. And so
Yeah.
this generation is like, why am I going to put all that work for a company that doesn't care about me?
Yeah.
And so like we're too aware for our own good in a sense. And I think we got to find that middle ground of like the hard work, but don't overwork. You know,
Yeah,
don't overwork
yeah.
yourself to where all you ever did was, I worked, oil fields all my life, and I made money, but I never climbed the ladder.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. I think it is maybe a more Mexican mindset where they want you to work, but they don't teach you how to get up.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we're so lost nowadays. Like, how do you get up?
Yeah.
I don't want to just work. How do you get up there?
And that's where I think they only got half of it right.
Yeah.
They have the work ethic, but they're not knowledgeable.
But they look at us
enough.
like we're pendejos.
Even then, like I don't think they're knowledgeable enough to like get to a point where they become from worker to CEO.
Yeah. That's some harsh truth.
And I think people that are now like with this new generation coming in, they're more aware of like, okay, maybe I don't want to work that hard, but it's necessary to do so first before you even get to a point where you're like, okay, now I got it in the bag.
Yeah.
So when it comes to like generations now, it's like, I don't know. We see our parents, and a lot of people see it as, oh, man, I don't want to work as hard as my parents did. I would, but I'd make sure that I don't let it drag on to my life where I end up being like them and not being happy.
Yeah.
I know my dad has suffered a good amount for him to work as hard as he could, and it's hard for him to enjoy his life.
Yeah.
Growing up, it was hard for him to, even now, just enjoy the simple things of life, just because of just everything that he has probably like done for himself, for our family and whatnot. To be like, okay, I've made it, I'm good. Let's enjoy life now.
It's because like those older generation, they worked hard, but they didn't invest in property. They didn't invest in stocks, exchange, and 401ks, and they
It's like for example, my parents, my dad, He never really wanted my mom to work. He wanted my mom to raise us or whatever, which is good. But at the same time, I feel like it limited him. He was always basically living paycheck to paycheck. And you know, my dad's a really hard worker. I admire him for that. Like he's always been the type to never call in, always try to make it to work, be at work on time, try to put in that overtime. Like just a hard worker.
They've set a standard.
But he also never really looked into investing. He never looked into 401ks, looked into like other opportunities to better himself as financially, other than just working. And I feel like that also played into like maybe his dad didn't really teach him that either. Like and
he probably felt like he didn't have no guidance either.
Yeah,
we do.
Yeah. So now I'm in the position where I am kind
always
of
late.
No. I'm trying to. I'm basically like
have no regard for time.
That's not my personal life at all. Not at work.
Please stop throwing loads at
Nah, but I'm basically at the point where like I'm working, but I don't want to be working the same thing or like at the same level forever.
Yeah.
Like I want to try to invest. I want to try to like just make my life easier for when I get older. You know, my 40s, 50s, mainly in my 50s, 60s. If I make it that far, you know, we're never promised time.
The older generation sees us as weak though when we want that.
Yeah.
When we're like, oh, I want to be easier. Cause that's all. Like, what do you mean easier? Like, cabrón, like be a man. It's like, bro, like I am being a man, but I don't want to work till I'm in the grave, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they don't understand that. Dude.
Like if you can set yourself up to be getting at least your bills covered by the time you're 45, 50.
Yeah.
Like you could still continue working, and that's not a bad thing. But if you stop working and you have these extra money coming in from either rental properties or just whatever extra income,
a little bit easier.
Like you don't have to worry about like if I get hurt or if I get sick or if I need some time off to go do something or whatever. Like like I'm gonna lose out on money. Like I just don't want to be in that situation, and that's where I feel like maybe like I'm not succeeding in my life yet because I haven't put myself in a situation where I'm getting that extra money or extra revenue. I'm in a position right now where like if I'm not working, I'm not making money. So
yeah, it's just so hard to find that drive to do more because
I have that drive. It's just I guess like it's more of a like finding that opportunity for me at least.
Well, that's what I mean. It goes kind of back to what he was saying earlier, and I mean in a sense where to find the drive, you're still gonna have to work hard, but you gotta flip the switch and know how to put your work in where it's more efficient.
Yeah.
And so like what Rafa's saying is you gotta put yourself in the places where you're gonna be presented the opportunity.
Yeah.
You have to open up that own door for yourself. Mm-hmm. And I think that's like that switch where it's kind of hard sometimes to say, like, to get out of your shell. You have to say, okay, I, in order for me to stop working so hard, I need to go like join these classes. No, just for example, I don't need to do that. But for real.
I gotta sell my soul.
I need to join these classes or be in these seminars where they kind of teach you that, or start, making friends with realtors if you want to get a real estate or things like that, like
posting feet pics.
Nah. So and it's funny that you say that because I just signed up for a mentorship last month.
I just started posting feet pics.
You gotta subscribe, men supporting men.
I do whatever you want.
I just signed up for a mentorship last month.
Okay.
And that mentorship is showing me how to scale my business as a barber. So it's not just how to cut hair. Has nothing to do with how you cut hair. It's just how do you how do you scale it through Google? How do you scale it through Facebook? What do you want to do with your website? How do you create a website? How do you get people to bring in revenue? And bring in revenue through tracking all this data.
See, and that's what I was talking about earlier. Like you're well, at least you put yourself in that situation where you have like some sort of mentorship or some sort of kind of guidance to build you up to own your life, basically. Like, like not have to worry about getting a call from a boss or getting like having to rely on a certain like anybody else basically for work.
If more men did that, we wouldn't be paying money to 40 million or whatever a month to a freaking OnlyFans person. I think men are the problem in the sense where we're just validating women's, people in general's feelings so easy.
I feel like men are just horny, bro. Like
that too, though. On that topic, I don't want to be like other men, bro, when it comes to like thinking about sex all the time, or having or leading with that, or I
think that's another like good thing as well, to have a discipline towards.
Discipline.
Yeah.
To be like, okay, you could refrain from it knowing that like, man, I mean, we're human, we're men, we're gonna want to put our dick in things that we probably shouldn't be putting our dick in things. But I mean, to have but to have that discipline is a whole other base as well. Like, it's very necessary.
Yeah.
Grapefruit technique.
Oh, you tried that. You know what was crazy? As I'm getting older as a man, I'm starting to realize that the Bible is not just a book for Christians. It's not just a book for Catholics. It's not just a book for Bible thumpers and religious people. Man, dude, the Bible actually has some very good wisdom. And some of the things that God intended or ordained or commanded in the Bible, such as fasting, man, that actually helps out. And you begin to realize that God did it for a reason. The mindset of disciplining yourself as a man, disciplining your body, your mindset, is very, very helpful to you. To discipline yourself from sex, to refrain from sex, to discipline yourself from eating, to discipline yourselves in the sense where you are on a meal plan, like that, the Bible or God kind of can tell you how to be a man. Whether you don't have a dad, whether you don't have a life coach, the Bible kind of has some instructions on how to do that. And it's like mind blowing, bro. Like now that I'm learning about it, like you don't have to read it and be like, oh, this is just a Jesus book. Like you can literally read it and get some good stoicism out of it, dude. Like you can get some good advice. And again, it's just kind of going back to the topic of like being disciplined, like understanding when to stop eating, when to stop, when to discipline your body to go to the gym, when to discipline your body to stop spending, and stop giving validation to women, and stop and refrain from being a simp. You know what I mean? Like I think that's what it is, that nowadays men are simps because they don't know how to discipline themselves. They don't know how to. They're leading with their horniness and not leading with their mind and saying, okay, is this beneficial to me?
And the problem nowadays with like this, maybe this generation, or like just with social media and how validating women's attractiveness is nowadays. As a man, if you look at another man and if he's not sleeping around with whatever he can get his hands with, you see him as weak, or you see him as like,
It's true.
like, nah, this guy can't get no bitches.
Yeah.
Like, well, this guy, like, nah, bro, I could get bitches. They won't be pretty. Like,
They may be a little bit manly.
I could sleep around.
What do you call them? Girl boys, or what do you say?
No, not lady boys. No, bro, no. That's a whole different topic.
A win's a win.
I don't know if that's a win. No, but like, Like,
I've always said is like they don't always have to be 10s.
yeah, that's true also.
And as long as you add them up to 10,
Five
You
and
do one,
five.
and they all become 10 a week. And they're all ones.
So 4 plus 6.
And
That's
in
a
that
team.
aspect, it's like
That's so stupid, bro.
it's
A
not.
win's a win.
Sorry, bro. That's just so stupid. Like, this could only ones.
Oh, 1 plus 2 plus 3. Yeah.
And I don't even think it's like you're lowering your standards. Like your standards are still up there, but you gotta understand at the same time it's like, okay, you know,
Close notation.
enjoy.
Choices have
Yeah.
consequences, though.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah,
that's,
for sure.
That's
For
where,
sure.
like, I guess, like maybe that's where I get my discipline from. Is like,
Like you're
Like-
scared to not.
yeah, like in the wrong person, basically.
Damn, bro, you're nutting on people.
That's your mistake right there. You don't know how to discipline your dick.
You know how to pull out or what? I don't. I was married before.
That's the discipline, bro. You work on the pull-out game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, thanks guys for watching the video and hearing out the podcast. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and like, share the video with your friends. You know, if you liked it. But overall, I want to thank Marco and Ralph for being here again. Ralph the barber, Marco, and it was a good podcast, guys. And thank you guys for watching and tuning in.